Bro, I was hooping the other day, bro. One of them little niggas told me my beard don't connect, bro. They fucking cap. Stranger Things did drop the other day though. If you haven't seen my last video talking about it, go look at it. See if you fuck with it, man. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm finna react to breakdown of a lot of the scenes, a lot of the clips, little Easter eggs, little in and explain. Let's do it.
Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. This will be my video for the Stranger Things Season 5 finale, Episode 8. There's so much to talk about, so many WTF moments, so many Easter eggs, so many callbacks to the very first episode. It is probably going to take a couple rewatches to fully unpack this.
Facts.
There were so many plot threads, so many cliffhangers, so many storylines that they had to pay off. They really need like 6 hours to do it in a completely satisfying way.
No, for real. They really needed a lot more time. They really needed a lot more time than I think what they were given. Of course, I would have sat through a 3 hour movie of Stranger Things 5. I promise I would have. I feel like they should have added another hour. Why the fuck not?
On top of that, there were just hard drives and hard drives full of deleted scenes, footage that they shot for the episodes that never actually made it to screen. We will probably learn more about those in the next couple of days, so I will do a deleted.
I don't know if how accurate that is, because I think I seen on Twitter the Duffer Bros said that there were no deleted scenes. This was everything. That's what they say.
Scenes video, alternate storylines, alternate ending. In addition to
there had to be a Susie deleted scene though, cause my nigga Destin.
Next couple of days. The episode title was The
Right
Side Up, which is a reference to the normal dimension, Earth, which ironically, when you look at the configuration of how they're visualized in space, the way the Duffers visualize them, technically sits on the bottom here and is upside down in frame, so the regular world is more like the upside down, technically, although upside down and right side up are relative terms, depending on your perspective, which also plays into Vecna and the kids' perspectives, the Mind Flayer's perspective, because of all the reveals about the Mind Flayer. Depending on whose perspective you're taking, which dimension is the right dimension or the better dimension. But getting to the real big stuff, like biggest questions that were answered, what was really going on with the Mind Flayer this whole time, I feel like they confirmed most of our biggest theories. I talked about this in my previous videos too, how the Mind Flayer was really pulling the strings on this the whole time, and how he'd been manipulating Vecna ever since young Henry Creel got
even then I seen his face when he was like, yeah, I chose to make this happen. It kind of was like reminded me of Billy, when Billy kind of had that single tear where he was forced to do things that he didn't want to do. Like the inside Billy was broken, but the outside couldn't do nothing about it. Like I think that was the same thing with Vecna. Like him on the inside wanted to do something different, but he's just too far. The nigga way too far gone.
Caves when he was a little boy. Basically confirming that you did have to watch the Stranger Things First Shadows stage play in order to get critical backstory. Probably going to go down as one of the biggest criticisms of Season 5 is that you did have to watch a stage play that was only available in a couple parts of the world, meaning that most people did not see that stage play. But at least they did give us the Cliff Notes version of the reveals, why he moved to Hawkins in the first place, like what happened, what was in the briefcase, all the troubles he had during the events of the stage play, all the terrible things that he does over the years when he was a little boy. All now confirmed to be because he was under the influence of the Mind Flayer, and also because of what Dr. Brenner did, abusing him at the same time. So he was being attacked from both sides, so no wonder why he turned out so crazy. Also confirmed that it was the Mind Flayer that gave him powers when it entered his body, like the black smoke of the Mind Flayer, its organic material entered his body, which is also why you see it leaving the kids when they're detached from the tubes. So even though we saw a physical body, like to make a Star Wars reference, a Death Star that was the Mind Flayer, like the Mind Flayer is the Death Star of this series. Its actual natural state is just that cloud-like structure you see, and that's how it takes over people. It just enters their body, like this cloud-like substance. Basically, Mind Flayer particles inside everything. They confirmed the Mind Flayer had been gaslighting him this whole time, making him even more afraid to re-enter the caves in his memories so that he would never remember the truth of what really happened. Will doesn't exactly give him a mind space therapy session, but he does talk to him inside his mind, and Henry Creel has overcome his fears to actually step inside the cave. I love the way they revealed it too, basically through his perspective, because he's finally remembering things. Even though you could make a lot of Star Wars Return of the Jedi comps here, he doesn't go full Darth Vader to Anakin Skywalker. There is no actual redemption here. He's done too many awful things, killed too many people, messed with too many people, abused too many people. But it really is a Darth Vader Emperor situation, and the Mind Flayer is the Emperor this whole time. Also love the confirmation that the Flesh Castle is the real physical body of the Mind Flayer. We all thought, I think we assumed that when we saw it for the first time, like, oh, it's the Dark Crystal Castle. That is probably the body of the Mind Flayer because it looks like an upside down version of the Mind Flayer, which basically just climbs out of the earth and turns into a giant spider, which is
when they had got. When they had got to a certain point, I was like, bro, why the fuck? Why is this shit not? Yeah, why is this? Yeah. When they got to a certain point and the legs started coming down, I was like, bro, they did not think this shit through, bro. They did not think this shit through.
To be a callback to all the drawings, this is why young Henry Creel started drawing all the spiders and became obsessed with spiders. So the idea is that the young Henry Creel is still fundamentally a good boy inside the Vecna character here, but he's being perverted, manipulated by the Mind Flayer this whole time to do all these terrible things.
Pause.
Now when you go back and you rewatch season 4 flashbacks with him inside Brenner's program and Brenner doing all these things, all the added context sort of changes things and makes it way more dynamic. The whole idea here is that the Mind Flayer's true goal this whole time was to absorb the normal dimension, take it over, and consume everything the same way they imply that it did with the Abyss dimension, which is what the scientist was trying to tell young Henry Creel. Don't let it in, otherwise it will consume everything. Like it.
And that dumbass nigga said that shit at the last minute, bro. That little kid already got the shit inside him, bro. That little nigga was not finna fight back. Whatever just took over his body.
Consumed everything inside the Abyss, which is why it looks like a dead dimension, basically. This is kind of its thing, like it's a multiverse type of villain where it just slowly absorbs other dimensions, one dimension at a time, consumes everything, then moves on to the next dimension. Predictably, the only real main death that we wind up getting in the episode, if it wasn't clear, is Kali, killed by the military trying to save 11. So she did die a good, noble death. The bigger surprise, though, is that she did not betray the group, and she also wants to help.
She kept moving so weird, too, like the little stuff. Like, I'm like, she got some plan. Like, the facial expression she had, the almost, it bitch had a chance to kill Vecna. It was a lot of scenes, actually, that I'm like, bro, without this line of dialogue, you could have won the whole thing. She talking about some hello, brother, right before she stabbed the nigga. Then pull all the way back to stab his ass. That nigga Vecna don't give a fuck about you, Callie.
11 by casting that one final illusion to allow 11 to live a normal life inside the normal dimension without having to die herself. There are probably a lot of you watching this that also predicted this, that she would cast an illusion just to make the group think that 11 sacrificed herself so that nobody would be looking for her after this. Like everybody, even the military, thinks that she's dead, meaning that she can now just live her life in this Nordic town. It seems like she's in the far north at the end of the series. Probably the bigger question with that is, will she ever try to contact the rest of the group? Will she ever try to contact Mike again at some point? You remember the Duffers said that they were doing a live-action spin-off series with a different group of characters at some point, so we will see how they try to invoke what happened during the main series, like how they tie, because even though they tell you what happened to all the different characters and what they're doing going forward in their lives, a lot of those didn't feel like direct teasers for spin-offs, because the Duffers said that the characters would be completely different and it'd be set outside Hawkins.
I was thinking maybe the kids, but like, I don't know about the new kids.
This game, you're not.
11 does get her Luke Skywalker versus Darth Vader battle inside their version of a Death Star, the body of the Mind Flayer itself. Will also does help her fight him, but it doesn't wind up being the full 20 dice roll Dungeons and Dragons comp that people thought it was going to be, because they all three, Will, 11, and Kali together add up to 20, even though at different points they use their powers, so you could say they do add up to a 20 dice roll during the episode. They didn't all three at the same time on screen fight Vecna together. Probably one of the bigger surprises with how they actually kill Vecna is that they let Joyce be the one to actually deliver the killing blows, as in multiple, because it took her a lot of whacks to actually get through that head. That was not quick. It definitely hurt. To be fair, he deserved it. But they imply that as Vecna actually dies, like he perma-dies, the Mind Flayer also starts to die because it needed him to survive. Like, I think part of the idea is that it was parasitic in that fact, and that's why it entered
Kind
young
of
Henry
loose,
Creel, because
loose
it did need
ideology.
him to continue surviving. Here's the thing that'll screw with your mind, though. If you think that all the powers on the show came from the Mind Flayer because Henry Creel only got powers when the Mind Flayer entered his body, and then 11 got powers because she got Henry Creel's blood, so she got a little piece of the Mind Flayer inside of her too, does that mean that the Mind Flayer is technically still alive inside 11 because we never saw black smoke come out of 11's mouth? Are there still some Mind Flayer particles inside 11 because she's still alive? You can let me know what you think in the comments because they leave that pretty open-ended. All the 12 kids survived, predictably. They rescued everyone and made it back to the regular dimension. When the Duffers said that they got to use a song that had never been licensed to other movies or TV shows before, I think they were referring to the Prince songs that they use in the episode. They used When Doves Cry.
That was a beautiful song choice. Definitely caught me off guard.
And Purple Rain. It could have been one of those songs. I don't know if those have appeared in movies or TV shows before. I can't remember off the top of my head. Prince was famous for not licensing his music to TV shows or movies or commercials for a long, long time till after he died. His family then started allowing TV shows and movies to use it. So the reason why the Duffers can use Prince songs is because Prince's family is like, yes, please give us your money. When everybody makes it back through the portal to the normal dimension and the military tries to capture them, Kali helps 11 with her illusion to make it seem like she stayed behind in the Upside Down, and when the exotic matter detonates, collapsing the bridge, makes it seem like she dies. But even if you didn't skip ahead to the ending to see that she did survive, when the frame goes to black, you hear a heartbeat briefly. I don't think they would have shown that heartbeat if they didn't want to telecast that they were going to reveal she was still alive. Like, there wouldn't be a heartbeat if she weren't still out there somewhere. Then they use the rest of the finale for a big epilogue extended scene to show you what happens to all the characters.
I loved it.
There's an 18-month time jump to the year 1989, and all the kids are graduating from school. A lot of people predicted this too. That's why they're watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, because it came out in 1989.
No ticket.
They remind you that the only real big characters who actually die are Vecna and Kali, although they think that 11 died until Mike reveals the truth at the end of the episode. Like, oh, by the way, she didn't die. Robin has not been the DJ since Fast Hands Jimmy came back. All the trouble went away, so Fast Hands came back. Nancy is no longer the station manager. The older group of kids basically went off to college, with the exception of Steve, who stayed in town because he wants all the little chicks, the little nuggets, 6 little nuggets. He's become the coach of the local baseball team. Derek is on his team, and he's also the sex ed teacher at Hawkins High School. Basically putting down his roots, getting ready to get married, and they have a bunch of jokes about him dating a whole bunch of different girls, like, oh, who's going to be the right one? I thought you said the last one was going to be the right one. Lucas and Max are back in their relationship, going strong, seems like. Erica builds the confetti device for Chris's big Hellfire Club. Flourish is the valedictorian. He is the valedictorian now. Mr. Clark is probably extremely proud. He's like his star student. Hopper helps Mike deal with the trauma of losing 11, although you remember, Mike now knows that 11 survived, so he's probably just upset that he can't be with her, even though he knows that she's still alive. But the way they played this scene, it seems like he thinks that she's dead. I think the way they filmed this is they just wanted to keep up the lie for a couple more minutes until they make the full reveal, so that the audience, like us watching it, still thinks that 11 might be dead. When Hopper and Mike talk about the someplace far away with the 3 waterfalls that Mike talked to 11 about in the previous block of episodes, 11 basically goes to that place at the end of the episode. Like, they imply that she's found a place that looks like that in the far north. It seems like a Nordic town. Derek and Holly seem like they're best friends now. Derek is also part of Holly's Dungeons & Dragons group. We'll get there in a second. Karen also displaying her scars from the Demogorgon with pride. She's not hiding them, like she's made peace with herself. Probably not as much of a wino now anymore. Ted is totally fine. People were wondering about him. Like, what happened to him? The show just forgot about him during Volume 2. But, he was fine. They just didn't have time to deal with what was happening to him at the hospital when this was all going down. Jonathan videotapes their graduation because he's in college studying to become a filmmaker. Dustin's graduation speech as valedictorian heavily references Dungeons & Dragons tropes, calling back to Eddie, and a big flourish with the Hellfire Club to give Eddie another big shout out to, wearing a new Hellfire Club style t-shirt, which I'm sure Netflix will sell as merch in real life that you can buy. His whole speech likens their adventures and friends and enemies like Vecna to chaotic good, chaotic bad alignments. The speech is all about trying to put a positive spin on the chaos of the series and how it forced everyone to evolve as people, made them stronger, and through the changes, they're all better people because of what they went through. Basically saying, weren't the real Stranger Things all the friends we made along the way? When everybody starts cheering and Mike seems like he detects the same kind of feedback through the speakers,
that's why I thought he figured it out.
The sound of the military's devices that blocked Eleven's powers, it seems like it's a sign of 11 also being there in spirit, and because now we know she's still alive in the normal dimension, she might actually secretly be using her powers to sort of be there in spirit and in mind, so to speak, like she's in a tub somewhere, like she's on the other side of the world, inside a tub, visiting them in her mind space so that she can be there with them while this is happening without her body actually being there. There's a real quick moment where it seems like Dustin might finally find himself a potential girlfriend, but Mike convinces them, instead of going to her party, to all play Dungeons & Dragons again, is a callback to the very first scene of episode 1 of season 1, like all the way back to the beginning.
No party?
We're so screwed if it's the Demogorgon. It's not the Demogorgon.
I'd actually been waiting all day long for my Hungry order, and it just got here. So it's all in the box. I figured we could take it out together, kind of do like a grocery haul. Of course, Hungry is sponsoring today's video.
Steve, Nancy, Jonathan, and Robin talk about their lives now and all the different colleges that they're going to and how they're all going to get back together. Like, the group is still together, this group, because they're going to work on Jonathan's film together now. So, like, the group is staying together going forward. They're actually still working together, and they're still good friends. It's kind of the same vibe with the younger kids, too. Like, even though they're all going to different places now in their lives, different colleges, the group is still kind of together. Nancy also surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, reveals she dropped out of her college, Emerson, where she was going, and got a job at the Herald newspaper and is trying to be a real reporter.
Get back with my nigga Jonathan, bro.
Hopper and Joyce finally get engaged. He proposes to her. They've been going out since the beginning of season 5. The only difference now is they've been living together for a while, and now they're officially getting married. Hopper also has a bunch of Easter eggs that he references too. When he implies they should move somewhere nicer outside of Hawkins, like near a beach, and talks about going to Montauk, Montauk is actually the name of the original pitch that the Duffers gave to Netflix when they made the Stranger Things series. Like, it is the original idea for Stranger Things. Then we see Mike as the dungeon master of this final game that they play. It's a callback to during episode 1 of the series, he was the dungeon master. The only difference now in present day is that Max is here with them. The whole twist with the mage of St. Markovia stepping out of the portal miraculously to save their Dungeons & Dragons game is also a comp to 11 still being alive and maybe coming back at some point in the future, like just stepping out of the portal. Hey, everybody, missed you. There's another montage of the characters. I'm assuming the movie that Max and Lucas are watching here is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, because that's been playing at the theater recently. Dustin still hanging out with Steve on the regular. It seems like they go on camping trips because of that trailer behind.
Fulfilling ending. Very fulfilling ending.
Behind his truck. Will seems like he starts going to gay bars, finds himself a boyfriend. Mike then decides to become a writer, and it's implied he turns their adventures into a book series. Since the Duffers said they were
everybody got their own happy ending.
Stephen King, it would be like saying Mike turns into Stephen King, and his books are based on all the things that happened to them, with the exception being that he leaves out some of the details, like the actual truth about what really happened to the mage, who is 11. All because they're still trying to uphold the secret of what really happened to her, although the group thought that she was dead until Mike tells them the truth and reveals what Callie did, casting that final illusion. We get the full reveal of 11 up in whatever Nordic country this is, seeing that small town, just implying she's going to live her life here. Maybe she will contact them again at some point, but it's implied that she still does actually have powers. Like I said earlier in the video, there was a big theory about how this would all work. Like, if you kill the Mind Flayer, you kill Vecna. If everybody's powers come from them, does that mean that their powers get turned off too? Apparently not. Then the actual final scene of the episode
the kids
is
got
revealing
powers
Holly Wheeler and her younger friends, some of the 12 that got captured by Vecna, becoming the new Dungeons & Dragons group, kind of taking over for Mike's group. Like, the legacy is being passed on. Mike is passing on the legacy to his little sister, and they're all having their own adventures now. Derek is also part of the group, telling everyone to suck his fat D. Then the end credits are a posterized version of all the characters depicting moments from all the previous episodes in the entire series since season 1, as if they're pages in a Dungeons & Dragons player's manual, which they reveal at the end of the credits. Netflix will also probably try and sell a real-life version of this as merch at some point. They've already done integrations and crossovers with Dungeons & Dragons products in real life.
That's
and
tough.
It's set to David Bowie's
I don't
We
play
Can Be
that shit, but
Heroes.
that's tough.
So there's a whole lot to unpack here. And what is that live-action spin-off going to be? And will it have something to do with the Mind Flayer, or will it be a completely different problem? Like, the series does touch on a couple mysteries, like the whole idea of the military trying to create exotic matter, Brenner creating the exotic matter, starting the program, slowly trying to contact Dimension X, the Abyss Dimension. Will we see any of the main characters cross over onto the spin-off, like if Eleven is still alive, all the other characters are still alive, if it's set outside of Hawkins? Or will it be more like an X-Files type of scenario, where you see all kinds of weird, supernatural, in science fiction-based things, technology-based things happening that a brand new group of characters that we've never seen before start running into week to week? Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below and let me know if you think that they did pay off the finale in a satisfying way, or do you want them to do another episode, like another 6 hours to finish paying everything off? What I'll do is my next video will be my full breakdown of all the Easter eggs and references from the entire episode, much more detailed than this video. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. And maybe if we find out about enough of them in time in the next couple of days, I'll also do a deleted scenes, alternate ending type of video if we learn about some of the stuff that did hit the cutting room floor. Everybody click here and here for all those videos and all my other Stranger Things Season 5 videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.
All in all, solid finale. And pretty good writing. Like he said, it's some stuff that ain't got wrapped up yet. I don't know if it need to be 6 hours to wrap it up, but hey, man. It's over with, and I guess I'm satisfied, man. I'm gonna see how needs when another show break out. I don't know. I might start reacting to shows, like cutting them up and editing them. I still gotta figure out, you know what I'm saying, what I'm gonna do. But y'all be safe. Tell me in the comments what you think about the finale. What's your rating? Your favorite moment. How handsome I look. You can say anything in the comments. It's the comment section for a reason. Y'all need to be safe, man.